I want to let you in on a secret. A secret that cost me years of fatigue, and a cabinet full of blood pressure medication, to finally understand. That secret lies in a lie, a beautiful lie, one that's carefully wrapped in whole wheat bread, hidden in the vibrant green of spinach, and praised every single day across the media. It's the lie that says, just eat healthy, and you will be well. And today, I am here to tell you, that this very idea is the most dangerous trap for your senior health. Have you not spent countless hours, your hard-earned money, and so much effort, to fill your kitchen pantry with the very best? You read every label, you turn down your favorite treats, you follow all the expert advice. You do it all with the hope that you'll have more energy to play with your grandchildren, that you won't become a burden on your family, that your high blood pressure will finally surrender. And yet, that feeling of helplessness stepping onto the scale. The quiet frustration of looking at numbers that refuse to budge. And the invisible war waged every single day inside your own body, a war where the harder you fight, the more you seem to lose. It's the feeling of betrayal. Betrayed by the very foods you placed your absolute trust in. But what if I told you, the problem isn't that you were wrong, but that you simply weren't told the whole truth? What if I told you there's a way not to abandon these foods, but to tame them? A way to turn those two-faced traitors into your most loyal allies on the journey to stroke prevention and reclaiming a healthy heart. This is not another list of forbidden foods. This is a philosophy. It is the key to taking back control, so that your meals are no longer a battle, but a joy. In this video, I won't just expose the 5 most common traitors. I will give you their user manuals. And so, I ask you to walk with me to the very end of this journey. Because the most dangerous, the most sophisticated traitor at number 1, is the very thing that doctors still praise and experts celebrate daily. It's very likely that it's sitting in your breakfast bowl right now. It was a beautiful morning. The sun was warm, the birds were singing, and in my hand, I was holding a glass of what I believed to be a miracle drink. A glass of golden grapefruit juice, which I had read in dozens of articles, was a warrior for heart health. I drank it every day, with an ironclad faith that I was building an impenetrable fortress for my heart. But on that day, that miracle drink almost became my poison. After my heart attack years ago, I became a very diligent student. I read everything. I listened to every piece of advice. My doctor told me to take my blood pressure pills and statins faithfully, and I obeyed without question. The books and articles said grapefruit was good for the heart, so I made it the most important drink of my day. I was doing everything perfectly, or so I thought. Until that fateful morning. About an hour after taking my medicine and having my usual breakfast with that glass of grapefruit juice, I began to feel that something was terribly wrong. The room started to spin. My heart, it was no longer beating in rhythm, but pounding like a drum being struck at random, as if it were trying to escape from my chest. A cold sweat broke out on the back of my neck, and I had to hold on to the table just to stay upright. The feeling in that moment wasn't just fear. It was profound, utter confusion. Why? Why was my body betraying me when I was trying my very best to take care of it? Fortunately, I was taken to the hospital in time. And when I recounted my daily habits to the doctor, he looked at me not with blame, but with understanding. He explained that grapefruit contains a compound that disables an enzyme in our liver. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down certain medications, including the statins and blood pressure pills I was taking. To put it simply, my glass of grapefruit juice had acted like a magnifying glass. It amplified the strength of my medication many times over, turning my daily therapeutic dose into a dangerous overdose. In that moment, I learned the most valuable lesson of my life. The lesson that, in the world of nutrition, there is no such thing as absolute good or bad. There is only right for you and not right for you. Healthy does not always mean safe, for everyone, in every circumstance. From that day forward, I no longer looked at food as enemies or allies. I see them as friends, each with its own personality. There are friends you can see every day. There are friends you should only see on occasion. And most importantly, some friends should never be in the same room together. Our journey today is to learn the personalities of these friends. Did my story resonate with you? Have you ever experienced that same feeling of confusion, of trying to do the best for your health, only to be met with frustrating results? If so, please comment with the number 1 below this video. Just the number 1. That's all. So that I know we share this understanding. Now, let us walk together into a very familiar place, but with a new pair of eyes. Imagine your kitchen is not a place for storing food, but a grand stage. And on that stage, there are 5 incredibly talented actors. Every day, they play the role of heroes, the guardians of your health. But when the velvet curtain falls, some of them quietly take on another role, a villainous one. Today, we will be the discerning audience, sitting in the front row, and together, we will identify these 5 dual roles. Let's begin with the traitor in the number 5 position. Number 5, Spinach and Kale. Who among us doesn't love these 2 friends? They are hailed as superfoods, the green shields that protect our bodies. We add them to our salads, our stir-fries, our soups, believing we are consuming the very best of the earth. But here is the truth their heroic role has been hiding. Within that deep green color resides a powerful king named Vitamin K. Vitamin K has a critically important job, to help our blood clot when needed. It's like a construction foreman, always shouting, "Build the wall. Build the wall," whenever there's an injury. And that is a good thing. But, what if you are taking blood thinners like warfarin? Those pills are like a site supervisor, constantly advising, "Slow down. Take it easy." When you suddenly eat a large amount of spinach, you send a massive army of Vitamin K's foremen down to the construction site. The supervisor can no longer maintain control. The delicate balance is broken, and the risk of forming a blood clot, the very thing that leads to failed stroke prevention, increases. So, what is the solution? Must we fire this entire army? Not at all. The secret here is not elimination, but consistency. Treat them like diligent workers. Give them a steady amount of work each week, not too much at one time, and none at another. Eat a moderate and regular amount, and most importantly, inform your doctor of this habit. Your body and your medication will learn to work in harmony with that army. Number 4, whole wheat bread. Ah, this is a veteran actor. He always appears with a wholesome, trustworthy image, the perfect replacement for his infamous brother, white bread. We choose him because we believe in his promise of fiber and a healthy heart. But his villainous role is far more subtle. Imagine your blood sugar is a car climbing a hill. White bread is a steep, vertical cliff, very easy to recognize. But many types of whole wheat bread are a gentle slope. They deceive us with an initial sense of safety. But in the end, they still take your blood sugar car to a very high peak, only to suddenly let it freefall. These blood sugar freefalls, repeated day after day, create a hidden enemy called chronic inflammation. It silently erodes your health, causes fatigue, and is fertile ground for problems with high blood pressure. So how do we tame this actor? Find him good companions. Never let him go on stage alone. Eat your whole wheat bread with healthy fats like a slice of avocado, a drizzle of olive oil, or a protein like an egg. These friends will hold his hand, forcing him to walk slowly, deliberately. They will transform that dangerous slope into a flat, safe road. Number 3, low-fat fruit yogurt. This is perhaps the most deceptive performance of all. She appears wearing a cloak emblazoned with the words "low fat," a captivating slogan. We happily choose her, believing we are doing a good thing for our waistline and digestive system. But let us lift that cloak. When manufacturers remove the fat, the very thing that creates flavor and creaminess, they have to add something else to compensate. And that stand-in actor is sugar. Lots of it. The amount of sugar in a small, low-fat fruit yogurt can be equal to a can of soda. And sugar, my friends, is the arsonist that lights the fire of inflammation, the root cause of countless health problems that we seniors are trying so hard to avoid. How do we expose this role? It's very simple. Befriend her honest sister, plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt. And then, become the director yourself by adding good friends like a few strawberries or a handful of blueberries. In that moment, you are the one in control of the play, no longer a deceived member of the audience. Were you surprised by these first 3 traitors? Is one of them currently in your kitchen? If so, please comment with the number 3, just to let me know you are still with me and ready to uncover the final 2. Number 2, grapefruit juice. Ah, my old acquaintance. The actor who nearly brought me down on the stage of my own life, as I shared with you earlier. He always plays the role of a gallant knight, with a shining sword of vitamin C, promising to protect our heart health. But this knight has a very peculiar personality. He doesn't like to work with certain people, especially the doctors, named statins and blood pressure medications. When they meet, he doesn't cooperate, instead, he neutralizes them, bringing their work to a halt. This causes the level of medication in our bodies to skyrocket to dangerous levels. How do we deal with this talented but difficult friend? My sincere advice is this: if you are taking any medication for your heart or blood pressure, treat him like an old acquaintance. You can nod from a distance, but do not invite him into your home for dinner every day. Your safety must come first. Replace him with more easygoing friends, like an orange or a few slices of lemon. Number 1, instant oatmeal. And now, for the lead role. The most anticipated character. The golden breakfast, the pride of the nutrition world. Oatmeal. But look closer. Which one are we talking about? Is it the convenient instant oatmeal packets, the ones that give you a meal in 1 minute with just a little hot water? If it is, then my friends, this is the master traitor. Those instant packets have been overprocessed, ground so finely that their fiber is virtually destroyed. They are as different from whole oats as a pile of sawdust is from a noble piece of wood. When you eat them, they cause your blood sugar to spike almost as fast as white bread. Not to mention, they are loaded with added sugars, artificial flavors, and salt to make them more appealing. So, what is the true oatmeal? Seek out its rustic, honest brothers, rolled oats or steel-cut oats. Yes, they take longer to cook, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20. But consider that time an investment. An investment in a morning of stable energy, in a grateful heart, and in a body that no longer has to fight against sudden blood sugar shocks. That is the breakfast of a true champion. And so, we have pulled back the final curtain. How are you feeling? Is there perhaps a sense of relief? Because the truth is, your kitchen is not the dangerous minefield we often fear it to be. It is not a place of restriction and guilt. I invite you to see it in a different light. See your kitchen as a garden. And in that garden, there are no bad plants. There are only plants that require different kinds of care. Some love the sun, others need the shade. Some need a lot of water, others need just a little. The job of a wise gardener isn't to cut things down, but to understand and nurture each plant in the way that is right for it. As you now see, the number 1 traitor was never oatmeal itself. It was our lack of understanding about it. The problem doesn't lie in the food, but in the wisdom with which we choose and use it. That is the key that frees us from fear and empowers us to become the masters of our own health. Now, I would like to ask you a question. After our conversation today, do you feel more confident, more empowered to step into your own garden? If the answer is yes, please comment with the number 4 below. This number 4 will be an affirmation, a promise from you to yourself, that from this day forward, you will be a wise gardener. And to make your gardening journey a little easier, my team and I have prepared a small gift for you. It's called Harold's Wise Pantry Checklist. Think of it as a small map for your garden. It summarizes the 5 food groups we've discussed, the safety notes, and the tips to tame them. You can download it completely for free, print it out, and take it with you to the grocery store. It will be your companion, a gentle reminder to help you make the wisest choices for your senior health. You just need to click the very first link in the description right below this video to receive your gift. Finally, I want to hear from you. What is one small change you will make after watching this video? Perhaps choosing rolled oats instead of instant, or eating your bread with an avocado? Please share it in the comments. Every story you share is a seed of inspiration for our entire community. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found this valuable, please join our Thrive with Harold family by pressing the subscribe button. We have many more journeys of discovery ahead of us. Take good care of yourself, and remember, every meal is not a test, but an opportunity to love your body.